guys, it's Kavetta. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will go over a couple countries that are digital nomad expat hubs, or where we frequent as digital nomads, that you can take a look at if you're trying to start your journey or you're trying to move. I'll just give an overview of the countries that are at the top of the list, so you have an idea where to start, and a couple of picks. Okay, the first country that we head to, Mexico, and that's one of the first countries I went to at the start of this journey. Mexico is relatively inexpensive. You know, you're always considering that you're making money in USD and then convert it into that country's currency. So Mexico is inexpensive. The weather is almost always perfect. The beach is right there for the most part, depending on where you go. The people are amazingly friendly, amazing culture, amazing food. The internet, most places or most hubs that digital nomad frequent, is pretty decent, especially if you have fiber internet. You're gonna have, pretty good connection. So those are some of the things we look for when we're looking for a place to go, somewhere that has good internet and we can stay connected because you work online. In Mexico, you can find Playa del Carmen, one of the hubs of digital nomads. You can find apartments outside of the center for around $400-500. You can find maybe a studio or one bedroom, depending on how far you go. You can get even maybe a 2-bedroom for $400-500. So you can get decent price rent. And then utilities, if you're not using the AC, you're not going to pay much of anything for utilities. But once you go in the summer and you start running that AC, that's it. Food is inexpensive, really good. You can eat street food, you can eat local food. That will cut your costs down. And pretty much anywhere you go, if you eat local, it will be inexpensive compared to eating at Western stores. So Mexico is the first one on the list, and one of the easier places because it's so close to the US, so you can just fly back. You get 180 days on your tourist visa to visit Mexico. And of course, if you want to stay there longer, you want to get residency, it is not too bad of a process to go through. So that's something to think about. The second on the list where digital nomads flock to would be Chiang Mai, Thailand, or other cities in Thailand, but Chiang Mai is just one of the major ones. It is relatively inexpensive also. You can live on about $1,000 a month in Chiang Mai. Apartment, $300-400 get you a decent apartment. The food, again, eating local will cut your bill drastically, so stay with the local food. Eat more veggies, Get off the Western food. I know, sometimes we're like, oh, I'm so used to this. But if you start to adapt to the culture of where you are, the food and everything, then it makes it easier. One of the downsides with Chiang Mai, and then of course you can go somewhere else in Thailand, is during burning season, which is from around January to March, April, somewhere there, when they burn the crop and burn stuff. So the place is completely, almost, you can't even live there because of the air quality and everything. So digital nomads normally flock to a different section to avoid burning season, or they fly out to Bali or some other country that's close to cut down on getting sick or the bad air quality during that time. So Thailand, like I said, it is inexpensive, and of course everywhere you can always go to the top end, and there's always a bottom, so you can maybe find $200-300 apartments. But what is it gonna get you? And then you can find a $2,000 apartment if you're trying to live in luxury. But of course, just a typical regular schmegler nomad with a nice renovated place, living, within decent vicinity to everything that you need, like shops and eateries and all that. You can find something for about $400-500 to rent. Okay, so the next place that digital nomads flock to is Canggu, Bali. Bali is one of the places that I am dreaming of going, and I just feel like I'm going to be disappointed because I'm just hyping this place up. Like, I want to go, I want to see it, but I don't know. I hope I love it as much as I love it in my head. But anyway, it's one of the places that digital nomads flock to. You can get decent internet speed. Of course, everything's going to be relative. There are areas where the internet speed will be great, and then you'll find some place that is not so good. So what I always do for internet, I ask the host, what's the internet speed, so I can get an idea before I book, because I don't want to show up and it's not what they say, or they're like, good internet, but what is it? Send me a screenshot, let me see what it is. And then I have all that information. So if I get there and it's like 5 megabytes when you said it was 500, then we have a problem. But anyway, so you can get a place if you're doing a shared villa. Shared villa is the rage, because one, it helps you to build a community right there. So you have friends, you have people to talk to, especially if you're traveling single or even as a couple. I'm not sure about families doing it. I haven't looked, but I wouldn't really do that because I like my own space, with kids. So I wouldn't really do, me personally, if I didn't have the kids, then I would consider living in a shared villa. Shared villa, you have your own room, your own bathroom, and then you share the living spaces, like the living room, the kitchen, the pool, the garden area. So you can find villas like that for like $250 US, $300 US, and they're nice. They're really nice. And then, of course, like I said, you have a built-in, friendship thing going right there. You maybe do pool nights with the other people living there. You build friendships, or maybe you find a villa and you have a different friend and you all go stay there. And so the shared villa is nice. If you're doing a private villa, so it's like something that I would do for me and the kids, you can find for maybe $600-700. And then again, it depends on how close you are to the city center, the hubbub of everything. It's gonna change the price. If you get out of Canggu and go to a different area, the prices will change also. So Bali is one of those places. And again, eating local, not drinking alcohol, because alcohol is extremely expensive there. So you're gonna go through your dry days and eating a lot of healthy food, local foods, the smoothie bowls, the salads, a lot of vegetarian, vegan food. You can live with that. You can eat really well for so little money. It's crazy. But once you start stepping into the Western stores that they have, the Starbucks, the Burger Kings, the McDonald's, the, whatever else, it's going to bring your price point up. So of course, choose your battles. What do you want to eat? The next spot that digital nomads and expats mostly flock to is Lisbon, Portugal. And we went there. I fell in love with Lisbon. The kids didn't like it. I'm not sure if it's just where we were, the things we were doing. They just weren't, keen on that. We did agree to go back to give it another try and just stay in a different area, see some other things. And, so they'll see if they like it this time or whatever. I'm not sure when we're going to get back there, but I definitely want to, because it is one of the places that you can get a visa. Well, you can stay there it's a part of the EU. So you have 3 months. Yeah, 3 months to go around. So if you're going to stay there, but then to stay longer, you need a visa. And it's not, hard to get the visa. It is a pretty simple process. You don't need to be making a ton of money to be able to afford, to show proof of, whatever documents and all that you need. It's pretty straightforward and not too difficult. If you stay outside of the city, you can look at maybe $650 to about $800 in rent if you're not right smack in the city center. And then if you're staying closer to the city, you're looking at maybe $900 to $1,400 for rent, which isn't bad. It is pretty, decent, especially being in a European country, to get rent for that amount. But it's still more expensive than going to, like we just said, Mexico or Chiang Mai or something like that. The food is so inexpensive. We found the food to be really inexpensive for Europe. And it was pretty decent food. The internet was decent. Again, it's going to depend on where you go. Always check with the connections. But overall, for the city, the internet connection, you shouldn't have much of a problem working from Lisbon. And then you have the option of flying to different European countries from there. So, you know, it's going to give you that gateway or pathway to visiting other countries from Lisbon, which is going to make other countries, the flights to other countries inexpensive. So it's like you have a whole, you know, other vacation in one. You can see different places and all that. So Lisbon, definitely put it on your list and see what, you know, see where it takes you. Like I said, I'm going to go back so the kids can get a different feel and see if they like it this time around. But I don't know, they just didn't like it the first time. The next city is Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. Vietnam overall is a pretty inexpensive country to head to. The city is, Ho Chi Minh City is normally, you know, one of the places digital nomads or expats end up. You can live on around 950 US. The rents are super inexpensive for $500. You can even go less, $600. You can go up a little bit more depending on what you want, where you are. But you can find super inexpensive places. And again, food is going to be super inexpensive to eat local. The internet, you're looking at maybe around 20 gigabytes. So it's not super fast or anything, but it's consistent. And again, you might find places that, you know, provide even higher speed internet because, of course, they're trying to cater to the Westerners and digital nomads and people coming in for vacation and, you know, longer stays. But that's about the average that you're going to find, which is still pretty, you know, pretty good to do your videos. And if you're teaching online, to go to your Zoom classes and stuff like that. So again, always ask, double check what the internet is at the specific place that you're staying at. Okay, so those are some of the top cities that you can find a digital nomad or an expat in right now. I do have a couple more. I'm just going to keep each video short. The good thing about these places also, every one of these cities, you will find co-working space. You can more than likely find co-living space. Like I said, in Bali, you definitely have co-living spaces. Co-working spaces, amazing because you can pay like a monthly fee, or some will have a daily fee. You go in, you don't want to work at your apartment that day, or it's noisy, the internet went out, you know, whatever the reason, you can find somewhere to go work, have coffee, just, you know, be around other working digital nomads. So maybe give you a little bit of extra, you know, oomph in your fingers to get that work done instead of procrastinating and watching Netflix at home, you know. Yeah, we do that. So, you know, having co-working spaces definitely help in these cities. And then, of course, coffee shops. Mexico, we had so many coffee shops that, you know, provided free internet that you could go and work from. The same thing with Bali. It has tons of places that you can go work from for free also. But of course, if you're doing like maybe Zoom sessions or you just want more quiet place, then a co-working place is going to be the perfect place for you. So that is it for this video. I will be back with another segment of where to go live and, you know, put on your list or to, you know, check off that you want to try. Yeah, so I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, go ahead, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, the notification bell to stay up to date on our adventures, and hit subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. Bye.